but it was in Himalayas, I guess. But they're climbing, and they got in a huge storm, and one of them loses it and falls, and the other one, gets him, digs his feet in, and he's holding him, but he is frozen, and he's losing his grip, and he's losing his footing, and he's held him for like 45 minutes, just as long as he could, and finally he just ended up having to let loose. He just worried. I mean,
You let it go.
did you read it?
No.
I thought he.
Mark County, copy.
But I think the story, if I remember right, because he had a lot of guilt, there was a couple things with guilt, that his just grip gave way. He couldn't hold it
Couldn't
anymore.
hold it. He's frozen.
And he knew that
Let's get some personnel out here, you guys. We don't need many. Come on.
no, all of a sudden, that's right, he was swinging. He could feel something swinging. All of a sudden, he thought it broke. Okay, so then he reels it in. That's what happened. He reels it in, and he sees that the guy cut it. And so the big question was, well, did he cut it because he could see that it was that he could, land without hurting himself too bad? But then he climbs down the next morning, and the guy had fallen down this crevasse and way down.
Yeah.
And I think he could just barely hear or see or whatever, but there was no way to get to him.
Yeah.
And he ends up, no, he didn't, he couldn't find him. So he ends up leaving. Well, the guy has broken like legs and all this crap, and he's down in this crevasse, and he's like giving up. And then he ends up somehow figuring out a way to get out of this crevasse, and basically crawling through all these storms and all this crap for it was like 3 or 4 days. And then he finally gets back, and he's just no water, no food, no nothing. I mean, at one point he's crawling along some gravel, and he can hear water running down deep underneath, but he can't get to the water, and he's just, the guy tells a story, and you're just like, oh my God.
Wow.
And his legs are killing him, and he's dragging, he's just bloody, and he keeps screaming for his buddy, because he knew his buddy was going to stay for a certain amount of time, and then he was going to leave. And it was like, if he didn't get there in time, there's no, he knew he'd die, because he knew he needed his friend. He ends up being like he makes it like within 20 yards of the camp in the middle of the night, and he just somehow gave up, and somehow the guy sees him the next morning laying out there, and they end up he ends up rescuing the guy, or somebody gets him. But it's this big huge controversy as should he have left the guy and all this. But you listen to what that guy went through to get back with the broken. It was just it's the craziest story you've ever heard.
That is, yeah.